Why play Sona Support? Well, she brings great poke, she scales into a late game beast, she is amazing in teamfights, and she simply brings a ton of utility. However, she is very squishy, especially in the early game, and she is also incredibly mana hungry. Sona's passive is she generates a stack when she hits an enemy with her Q, and each time she mitigates damage or heals with her W. She can stack this up to 120 times, and each stack grants her 0.5 ability haste. When this is fully stacked, getting more stacks simply reduces the cooldown of her ultimate. Her second passive is when she casts a basic ability, she also generates an aura around herself, but we'll go over that with each ability. And her third passive is when using a basic ability, she also gains a stack of power cord, which can stack up to 3 times. When this is fully stacked, her next basic attack will deal additional damage and proc an additional effect depending on the last used ability. Sona's Q causes 2 bolts to come out of her and auto-targets 2 nearby enemies. This will prioritize champions and deals damage to them and grants sight. In addition, the aura around her, which is basically just the circle around her, makes her next attack and any allies touched by the aura deal bonus magic damage. Also, if the Q is the last used ability before using her power cord passive, her next attack would deal additional damage. Sona's W heals herself and then sends out a bolt which auto-targets the most wounded nearby allied champion, healing them. In addition, the aura around her will shield herself and nearby allied champions. If this is used before her power cord attack, the attack will reduce the target's size and the damage dealt by a good amount. I find it helpful to think of this empowered attack as a mini exhaust. Sona's E gives her a good amount of bonus movement speed for 7 seconds. However, if she takes damage during this time, it will end after 3 seconds. In addition, the aura around her will grant nearby allies bonus movement speed, and if this attack is used before her power cord attack, the attack will apply a large slow onto the target. Sona's ultimate is a wide straight line skill shot which deals damage to and stuns all enemies hit. For combos, start with ultimate into a Q, then attack, W then attack, and then E, and then use your empowered attack. However, the order you use this in will change depending on what you need. If you want additional damage, use your Q last. If you need to reduce damage taken, use the W last, and if you need to slow a champion, use the E last. For matchups, Sona does great into more passive laners where she can easily stack her ability haste passive and scale into a late game beast. And she can struggle against lane bullies who will look to shut her down early. For runes take this, Aerie helps everything she does. For build orders, start Spell Thief and Pots into Echoes of Hellier and tier 2 boots. After this, an Ardent Censer and Staff of Flowing Water are great pickups before finishing a build with any of these as needed. For skill orders, start Q then W then E before maxing W then Q then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Heal. Starting the game, you're looking to play aggressively or passively depending on your matchup. However, either way, you'll be looking to poke your opponent as often as possible to get good damage out and start stacking your passive. Your Q into an auto attack is incredibly strong. With the Q being auto lock on, it's a lot of easy damage. This is especially true if the 2 enemy champions are nearby so you can hit both with one spell. And of course, if this is combined with a Q power cord, it will chunk your opponent. When it comes to trading, you usually want to start with a Q into an empowered attack and then use your W to heal and shield you and your carry. Dealing a good amount of damage and reducing the damage taken is a great way to start any trade. Entering the mid game, you want to take your tower as soon as possible then rotate mid with your carry. This will allow you to siege and roam to objectives easily. Entering late game team fights, if you can start by using your ultimate over multiple enemies, this can be great engage. Otherwise, play the backline support, providing tons of heals, shields and speed ups for your team. Your kit passively provides tons of value, so focus on keeping yourself alive and just hitting a big ultimate.